We begin this hour with the uptick in COVID cases in the U.S. and abroad. Cases here surged more than 50% in the past 2 weeks, and hospitalizations are up 8%. Throughout the pandemic, the U.K. has consistently been a harbinger of what's to come in the United States. When Britain dropped its COVID restrictions in late February, COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths soared and may have only recently peaked. Kris Van Cleave has been digging into the numbers.
Across London, life looks a lot like it did before the pandemic, and COVID restrictions are gone.
How often do you see somebody getting in your cab with a mask?
Not very often at all. No. Most of them are now just taking the mask off and kept them off.
London cabbie Ken Allen is still taking precautions, including keeping windows open, but masking is now a commuter's choice.
I just feel a bit safer, especially when I'm on public transport and I'm indoors, like in a shop, I still wear a mask.
I don't think it should be you can't get the bus if you don't wear one.
Were you happy to see the mandate go away here?
Well, yes and no. I mean, of course, it comes with risk, especially as someone who hasn't had COVID. I do feel uncomfortable sometimes when sitting next to someone who's coughing without a mask.
In late February, a new COVID strategy saw the UK's restrictions lifted.
So let us learn to live with this virus and continue protecting ourselves and others without restricting our freedoms.
Similar to right now in the U.S., mask mandates on mass transit and British Airlines ended just as cases started to surge. Driven by the BA2 subvariant, daily cases jumped 435% in 3 weeks after the decision to unmask. Deaths more than doubled, even as testing plummeted. Across England last week, it's estimated 1 in every 17 people had COVID.
Do you think relaxing the mask rules, particularly on planes and trains and buses, was a mistake?
Yeah, I think it is a mistake. Once you remove the face mask mandate, people will start to behave in a much more liberal way, as if the virus doesn't exist, as if there's no need to be cautious.
Professor Lawrence Young is a virologist at the University of Warwick.
The virus isn't over with us.
He expects the U.S. will see a spike similar to the U.K.
Essentially taking your foot off the brake all at once is inevitably resulting in higher levels of infection.
So by saying you don't need to wear a mask, you're telling people they don't need to worry anymore.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, that somehow we could return to a pre-pandemic world where COVID doesn't exist, and sadly that's not the case.
This latest COVID surge appears to have peaked here, but still well over 200 people a day on average are dying from the virus. One big difference between the UK and the US, vaccination rates. More Brits have been fully vaccinated and far more have received a booster shot. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Kris Van Cleave in London.
Very interesting traveling yesterday with all the developments that happened this week. I would say inside airports, 5 to 10% of people had masks on. On the plane, it was more, probably 30%, I would say.
Got to make your choice. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a crapshoot. I almost didn't get into the country I was heading into because they had such tight restrictions. So it's kind of still all over the place.
Yeah, different in every place you go.
Yeah.